In that spirit, together we adopted the strategic framework for Latin America and the Caribbean, a timely, comprehensive milestone to deepen the OECD's engagement with the region. This stepping stone provides Latin American and Caribbean countries with a coherent, visible, and forward-looking platform that strengthens our political and technical voice and ensures that OECD tools and standards speak more directly to our region. We also champion the AI implementation toolkit, an essential step toward ensuring that innovation remains responsible, human-centered, and inclusive. This toolkit bridges vision with action, offering governments the means to shape the digital age with purpose, values, and accountability. Finally, we are grateful to our Vice Chairs, Australia, Canada, and Lithuania, for the excellent teamwork, for their unwavering support, vision, and collaboration in this two-day gathering. Let me also extend my sincere appreciation to you, Mathias Cormann, Secretary-General of the OECD. You are a remarkable leader at the front of the most relevant international organization in our present time. Of course, there's many challenges ahead, many questions still to be answered. But if I can showcase one of the best moments of this two-day gathering is the commitment to engage, to talk, to discuss, to listen to one another. We hope that we can continue working along these lines. We will cooperate and wish the next chairmanship, Finland, as they will assume the challenge of chairing next year's edition. I would like to conclude by saying that you will find soon on the platforms our chairman's statement of this 2025 ministerial meeting. It will be soon distributed or placed online. Thank you very much.
And with that, we are happy to take some questions. I think.
Absolutely. Thank you, Minister Secretary-General. First question here, right there, please. Please introduce yourself and your media.
Hi, I'm Ali Bektawi for AFP News Agency. One question about the future of the OECD. Are you concerned that the conclusions of the review of the Trump administration on its partnerships to international organizations that could lead to potential withdrawals, including maybe OECD? And would you be ready to make reforms if the US administration demands reforms?
Well, so the first point is that the United States are a valued key founding member of our organization, and of course our organization operates on the basis of our convention, which came into effect in 1961, and we will continue to operate consistent with the provisions of that convention and of course the decisions that are taken from time to time by Council representing all members and including our Ministerial Council meetings, one of which has just taken place right now. Every country, of course, and every elected government, every democratically elected government in any member country is entirely within their rights to assess what their priorities are in terms of their engagement with international organizations, and we're of course very aware of that review taking place. We're very confident, based on our interactions with the US administration so far, that there are important areas of cooperation and that there's important work that the OECD can do also together with the United States. Now, in the end, if any one member has views on how the work of the OECD can be further improved, that is a matter not just for one member to engage bilaterally with the OECD, that is a matter for all members, and of course that would involve a conversation in which all 38 members of the OECD and the European Union would have an opportunity to express their views, and ultimately, as the OECD Secretariat, we're here to serve our members. We are a member-led organization, and whatever our members collectively decide is the appropriate way forward, that is what we will work with.
Other questions? Right here, please.
Yes. Oui, m'entend. Richard Yo from Les Echos. Regarding the 50% US tax on steel and aluminium, do you have any idea already of the cost for the world growth in the future, and which country will suffer the most from that tax?
Look, let me just make a couple of observations here. I mean, I think we've been very candid that the level of economic and trade policy uncertainty is weighing on the economic growth outlook, and it would be much better in terms of improving the outlook for the global economy if countries around the world, in particular countries across the OECD membership, could work together in order to increase the level of economic and trade policy certainty. Now, our job here at the OECD is to support our members in having the necessary conversations, to inform discussions and decisions with data and evidence, and indeed to provide a platform, a trusted platform for constructive and solutions-focused dialogue. I don't think it would be helpful in terms of the overall objective of finding the best possible ways forward to deal with some of the issues that have been identified in terms of the operation of the global rules-based trading system, for us to provide a running commentary on live conversations. It suffice to say, we are an organization that supports the principles of open markets and rules-based global trade. To the extent that there are issues in the global rules-based trading system, we would always recommend to our members and to all governments around the world to work with each other, including and in particular through the OECD, with a view to make international trading arrangements fairer and work better, while preserving the economic benefits of open markets and global rules-based trade. So, we will continue to have, all of the necessary conversations within the OECD family. We will continue to engage with partner countries around the world to ensure that we can make a constructive contribution towards improving global trading arrangements. But again, I mean, I don't think that providing a running commentary on these sorts of specifics is a constructive contribution for us to make at this point.
Other questions? Yes, over here, please.
Thank you for taking my question. I'm Yoshihiro Nakajima, working for Kyodo News, Japanese news agency. Minister Tobal explained that the chairman statement will be published soon. So was a joint statement adopted at this meeting? This is first question.
The chairman issued a chair statement for this year's ministerial meeting, which reflects largely on the discussions held throughout these 2 days. We have come to a high level of convergence in reaching consensus in a good number, I would say a very solid number, Mathias, of instruments of outcomes out of this ministerial meeting, which would be also shared alongside with the chair statement online, shortly within, if it's not been already placed online, it would be placed shortly online.
So a joint statement will be published?
So, as the minister has just made clear, I mean, the chair, as chair, is issuing a chair's statement, but that chair statement will also provide information about the long list of outcomes that have been agreed by consensus at this MCM, but the chair is issuing a statement in relation to the overall proceedings of this MCM.
Question over there.
Hi, Will Harbin from Bloomberg. You mentioned, obviously, that there was a large downgrade of the economic outlook yesterday, and that's principally due to the trade tensions triggered by tariffs from the US administration. I wondered, did you raise this directly with the USTR? And did they acknowledge that much of the downgrade to the economic outlook was due to US policy?
Well, look, I had a very good meeting with the USTR yesterday, and of course that meeting happened after we had publicly released our economic outlook prior to the commencement of the MCM. Again, I mean, you know, our position and my statements publicly are very clear. It would be much better for the global economy, and I would suggest it would be much better for all of the individual member economies if issues in the global trading arrangements could be resolved through dialogue and cooperation in a multilaterally agreed way, and it would be much better for the global economy and individual economies across our membership and beyond if economic and trade policy certainty could be restored very swiftly. I mean, I think that those statements are very clear. Beyond that, I don't think it would be appropriate for me to provide a commentary on private conversations. And my job, I see my job as that of a facilitator to help, you know, bring perspectives together and to help achieve a consensus and convergence on the best possible way forward. And in order to be able to do that effectively, I don't think it would be constructive for me to start talking about private conversations.
I think I have a question right here.
Thank you very much. My name is François Ndengue, journalist with African Advisory Board. Your Excellency, the Minister of Costa Rica, so you've mentioned the strategic framework for Latin America. What is the content and what is the purpose of that strategy, please? And to you, sir, Your Excellency, you've just mentioned again and again the necessity to restore certainty. In this regard, what is the OECD doing, and why do you think that the certainty have been disrupted? And are you working with other international organizations like the World Trade Organization to restore this certainty? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your question. And certainly, one of the missions of the OECD itself is to promote, you know, better standards, policies, and practices beyond its membership. And the OECD has embedded a good number of regional programs with Southeast Asia, with the MENA, with Latin America and the Caribbean. For us, certainly, Costa Rica, we sought to launch and promote the implementation of a new strategic framework for the engagement with the OECD, with the Latin American Caribbean region, in terms of policy advice through more engagement in the assessments conducted by the organization, in being more open to the involvement of Latin American and Caribbean countries to technical meetings done here in Paris, for assessments, policy assessments, to consider data and assess the data stemming out from Latin America and the Caribbean region, to continue engaging a region with so many opportunities but challenges at the same time, and a region that has been growing within the family, the OECD. Today we have 4 Latin American OECD members: Mexico, Chile, Peru, and Colombia. We have 3 other countries, some of them a little bit with more progress than others in their respective accession processes to the OECD: Argentina, Peru, and Brazil. And also a good number of countries, 14 in total, which are part of the OECD's Development Center. So we have taken note of the enormous opportunities that the Latin American and Caribbean region has, and also challenges, and members have noted and have agreed to review the rules of engagement and the strategies towards, working alongside with the Latin American regional countries. For us, we understand that it is fundamental that the OECD expands its outreach beyond its membership, as it does with Africa, with other regions in the world. So this is one of the most fundamental deliverables that we have come to consensus during this two-day gathering.
Well, and thank you very much for that question. Well, firstly, in terms of the last part of your question, yes, of course. I mean, the OECD works with all other relevant international organizations. In fact, Ngozi, representing the World Trade Organization, was present here at the Ministerial Council meeting this year to be part of key conversations. And in fact, there was a WTO ministerial meeting last night to coincide with our Ministerial Council meeting here, but which goes to the core. I mean, yes, we do believe that it's important for the global economy and the global economic outlook for there to be a restoration of economic and trade policy certainty as soon as possible, but it's got to be done in the context of actually addressing some of the issues. And so the first point is that it's important for everyone to have a good common understanding of what the actual problems are that need to be addressed, and that requires dialogue and exchange. And of course, like meetings like this one contribute to that. We provide data and analysis to support some of those discussions and hopefully to help inform the best possible discussions. But I mean, we engage with our member countries bilaterally, I mean, individually. We engage with our member countries collectively through council meetings and this Ministerial Council meeting. And of course, we also participate in key international fora like the G7, the G20, IPEC, and so on. And I think, I mean, the message that I've given you here today about what we think should happen in terms of restoring economic and trade policy certainty is the same message that we give in all of those fora. So, I mean, I think that you know, in the end, if we want to have genuine restoration of certainty, we need to ensure that the issues that are being raised are properly understood by everyone and that there's a level of consensus around what it is that we need to fix together, and that then we have a conversation on that, how that is best done. And you know, we would suggest that it should be done. We should be making any reforms to global rules-based trade, to international trading arrangements, to make them fairer and work better in a way that keeps, that preserves the economic benefits of open markets and global rules-based trade. Now, you know, there's clearly still a lot of conversations to be had, but you know, we welcome the fact that after the initial announcements around tariffs were made by the United States, there's been pauses put in place that now enable and give some space for some of these conversations to take place, and we will do whatever we can as an organization to help facilitate the best possible resolution to those conversations.
Looking out here, if there are any other questions, we're reaching just the end. I think we'll close the...
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.